I have airplanes flying over me like constantly when I'm outside. I think it's probably the FBI just trying to spy on me. What's he doing? I could have swore I cleaned this one out with the rest of them, so it's kind of making me wonder if it didn't ooze out more. So yeah, I own this backhoe, but I definitely would not be messing around with this kind of stuff. And this was all supposed to be done by the company I bought it from. It was supposed to be good to go, but old American Tractor didn't, I didn't bend that frickin' thing. And that joint is dry beyond the level I could have run it dry. I couldn't have run it dry. They just didn't fix those Zerk fittings that didn't work, so that's kind of lame. That's why I bought the $36,000 backhoe and not the $20,000 backhoe. It was because I was trying to avoid this kind of stuff right off the bat. And I really haven't had it that long. Haven't used it that much. But I'm super trying to make it last and not have any kind of major failures. And the best way to do that is by taking care of the stuff. So I have told myself to stop using it, which when I got it I thought it was good to go, so I just was using it and using it and using it, and then I had somebody come out here that knows them and they were just looking at it, they're like, hey. And then I had remembered that a couple of the fittings I couldn't even get onto, so I was like, yeah, I just need to stop using it, because he pointed out how this was rolled over or something. He's like, yeah, this shows signs of wear. So yeah, if I want this thing to be here and do all the work that I got planned out for it, I got to take care of it. And without a hot soapy water pressure washer, I have to clean it with rags before and after I grease it to keep it from being all gunked up. So it's quite a bit of work, but I haven't really gone through this whole process and taken care of this whole entire... It's actually kind of amazing. The rubber gloves actually keep my hands warm. So I just bought this really nice grease gun and a really extra nice tip. And the chainsaw store had this fancy tip I got for it. So this is really a pimped out grease gun. And I think that keeping these grease fittings clean is gonna prolong the life of my grease gun. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that, because I like nice tools and I like nice tools to last. This is just slow going. I mean, these guys that run these machines, they freaking park them on a special pad that filters the whatever they wash out of it, so they can separate out the grease and the dirt and all that crap off the machine. And they just blast these things with a pressure washer, soapy water, clean everything, about 2 seconds, and then they come back in and grease it. When you grease, it pushes out some of the dirt, so if you clean it and then you grease it, it's going to push out even more dirt and grease out of the joint. And then if you don't clean that, it'll look like that. It's all nasty and coated with dirt. So, and this dirt I have out here is very dirty dirt. It just gets into everything super fine, powdery. Hard on machines, I'm gonna guess. Boy, a pressure washer would just clean this thing out in 2 seconds. But all this grease and grime would just be in the ground. So until I get a way to manage that, and enough water to run a pressure washer and enough power, like, although the pressure washer is probably gas, so that's not a huge problem. The water is. So, and then the gas might not be how the water's heated. So, I don't know. It all depends on the... God, they're just so... Oh, this one is nasty too. That one might be nasty because the freaking storms have reintroduced dirt and moisture, and that's where the nasty's coming from. But this is like the first phase of the operation. Like, you see my new teeth. These things stick out both sides. I have a bad feeling I'm gonna have problems with that. So I'm just going back over some of these because I did it in the dark. And look at that gunk up in there. Ugh. See, this is... If I buy another truck, I should say when I buy my next truck, I don't know if a F350 can haul this much weight or not. Because this thing is like 26,000 pounds. And then the trailer that can haul it is probably going to be another 5,000 pound trailer or something like that. So I have to have a truck that can tow 35,000 pounds. Because it'd be nice to just throw this thing on a trailer and freaking whip it up to a place where I could just pressure wash it and clean it up. So a backhoe is the Swiss Army knife of heavy equipment. This thing can do anything, and then I can buy stuff to change it a little bit to do other stuff. Like if I want to spend $1,700, I could pick up pallets. If I would have spent $1,700, I wouldn't have $400 worth of concrete sitting out there in the rain and snow and wind. That'd be in here. But yeah, $1,700 is... I mean, I use the hell out of some forks, but literally I think you have to take the whole bucket off. This thing is just like the Where's Waldo of little nipple things. Frickin', they're everywhere. There's another one right there. And they get to be looking all like something else. They get covered in grease and dirt. It's like, oh, it's just some dirt. No, that's not dirt. That's one of your little Zerk fittings there. That you gotta stick your grease gun on and do this whole cleaning, and yeah, it's a whole thing. See, like, this is freaking just hella nasty right there. I need to do that, but I'm gonna go at that after, because I might make even more after I grease it. Like, that probably doesn't even need to be greased. I've literally greased that one like every time. These ones, I've never greased, that you can only get at from underneath here. Look at that. Oh, this one is like, oh, was that a chunk of grease, or was it, oh no, that's a whole nipple deal. Zerk fitting. This is probably, I have airplanes flying over me like constantly when I'm outside. I think it's probably the FBI just trying to spy on me. What's he doing? He's got to be doing something. Is he building a nuclear weapon? Or is he burying bodies? Or is he having sex with goats? See, when I'm filming, I don't get to listen to music, so I have to talk to entertain myself. Yeah. And unfortunately, I talk about crazy. Look at that one. Ugh. It's like muddy grease. in greasy mud. Ugh. Jeez Louise. This is some they're everywhere too. They are everywhere. And I bought a box of wrenches. I didn't have wrenches. Box wrenches. Box of box wrenches. And I needed to have those because I pretty much can't get on every one of these with a socket, I don't think. That one right there looks messed up. You can see what a good one looks like. God, there's variations even within them though. That one looks one way, this one looks one way. This one looks a different way. I wonder if it's messed up. That one's definitely messed up. You can see how like it's got a little ding on the side and it's super hella flat. So, I'm going at that one first. Look at that. Just ooze out of that. That's one I cleaned. You got to be real careful with this kind of stuff because you got one shot at it. You strip that out. So, have it. Over here to our box of those. Look at all the different ones. So, try to put that thing in there. That's probably good. Looks about where the other one is. These are my chainsaw tools. I guess I can work on the backhoe with them. Oh yeah, it's got a little ding on there. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. It's messed up. Moving right along to the next one that's boogered is this one here, and this one looks really bad. Like it might not come out very easy. Aha! Okay. I mean, it looked like the nut was totally bent, and that's probably why I can't get it out. I hate using my screwdriver as a punch because it's only a matter of time before your screwdriver isn't a screwdriver anymore. Smashed and broken. Another one of these guys. Alright. Yeah, so leave a comment in the comment section below if you're looking forward to Borderlands 3 coming out. At this point, I think I'm ready for lunch. What do I got to do now? Well, now I have to change the oil. Well, I have to pump water. And then, after pumping water, I have to change the oil in the generator, which is a weekly chore. Pumping water is a daily chore, changing oil is a weekly chore. And the generator's been getting used a lot more this week than it has in any other week because the shittier the weather, the less solar power I'm generating. I think I said this before, when I pump water, I like to, or when I change the oil, I see how I set this up. That's because the wind will actually blow this open. I'm ordering this little, a little box that all this stuff, the water stuff and the generator will all sit in. And the theory is that that little box will provide enough heat to keep all this water stuff from freezing, the new pump and all that, and I won't have to pump any water anymore. All I have to do is keep that generator going when it needs to go. This is all ready to go. Let's hope I don't have ice in the lines. Let's hope all the water drained out last night when I finished pumping the water and it didn't just freeze in the line. So I have to prime the pump, open the valve, lower the pump down to the level of the water, and cap it back off again. I don't hear any ice in there. So this is all ready. This hose feels really tight, like it's under a lot of pressure. The pump sounds like it's under a lot of pressure. So, might be dealing with ice in the line. Oh, I hear it running. Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love when water flows. So now I was in the process of looking up all the parts that I need to do this, I don't know what to call it, weatherized pump station generator house. You know, first it was just a bin around just like a tote around the box that held the pump. And I was thinking, oh, I could do 2 totes and put the little tote in the big tote, insulate in between the 2 totes. So that's where it started. And then I'm like, well, hey, what if I just get like a little shed and put the generator in there? And I'm like, oh, even better. And then I'm like, well, what if I get a bigger shed and put the whole tank of water in there? That way the generator would be keeping even the water from freezing, which it will anyway, but indirectly. So, you know, all of a sudden this whole thing had ballooned into like massive money, and I'm looking at buying another shipping container, and finally I'm just like, hold on. You know, I got about ready to buy another shipping container, about ready to buy another generator, you know. And you know, I haven't started getting paid yet for my invention that's gonna make my life a lot easier. So I needed to scale this back. I needed to scale this back to more affordable level. And so a couple things just need to scale down, you know. I might still buy that $500 generator and just keep it as the backup because it's quiet, or it's loud, and this one's quiet. But I'm going to do that after I get everything else set up, because everything else is going to cost, it's about $1,000 worth of stuff. I can't tell if that oil is nasty or not. I think it is, though. But the way I look at it is, the second I roll off this property to go stay in trailer parks and all that, or RV parks, excuse me, my monthly expenses go up drastically. $1,200-$1,600 a month just in the for the rental of the RV spots, right? So spending $1,000 to be able to push on even one more month seems like a good investment. I mean, if things get so bad, like so cold that the trailer's freezing up, and or propane's freezing up or whatever, you know, I mean, I always can go, right? This is why I'm not spending that money until after the temperature dips and I've tested the last money that I spent, right? So I spent $400 on that little thing, right? And I'm all worried about spending this money when I just lost $1,000 because lazy Lloyd just stuffed the trees behind his trailer and didn't it. So I bought a chainsaw. I needed a chainsaw. I didn't need a chainsaw right now. I needed a chainsaw. That just lost me a bunch of money when I was hoping that was going to increase my money. Well, you know, I think there's a common thread in my life. Anytime I've ever tried to do anything with a friend, it just seems to turn into a situation that I don't have the friend anymore. That's just the capitalist society we live in. All right, now, am I going to be able to get this in there without making a mess? My guess, no. All the original initial stuff that's just going to come flying out of there. Whoop. Should have a rag with me. It's the up society we live in to where, you know, like constantly trying to increase one's wealth and make life easier on oneself and more secure. And then, you know, trying to work with other people you know because there's this trust factor, you think. So I probably would have been better off just posting on Craigslist, you know, will deliver. I probably would have done a lot better. And I would still have, although, you know, literally Lloyd was always my friend because of capitalism. That was it. He was my cab driver. Then he's been my private investigator. But yeah, it's just disappointing that people are it took a lot of effort. I had to go buy a chainsaw. I had to go pick out all the trees. I had to cut them down. I had to load them. I had to drive them. That was a lot of effort. And this dude didn't do He didn't do anything. We even talked about how he could flock them and how that, you know, and if he started getting pushback from people, like, you know, he should have just, hey man, we got to flock these things, you know. I would have made it happen if he didn't even have the dough to cover whatever we needed to do that. No problem. I would have got that. Just not to be pissing away my time. Like, let's put some more time and effort into it before we just completely bitch out and, oh, they're flammable. Like, they're no more flammable than any other tree. And the test isn't holding a bic to the tree and, oh, it caught on fire to some dead was supposed to clean off. No, the test is, first you clean the tree, then you put lights on the tree. Do the lights catch the tree on fire? No? Well, then don't worry about it, because if you're stupid enough to put an open flame on your tree, you're stupid enough to have your fucking house burn down. Sorry. But, so anyway, this bullshit excuse he gives me is, oh, flammable. Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, he didn't put any effort whatsoever into trying to sell them. He didn't clean them up. He didn't do anything. So, he didn't display them. So, yeah. And that pisses me off, because I was looking to get out of that deal. I mean, I would have been happy to, I was looking to get like $500, not $1,000, but I would have been like, 500, let's just move them. But no, this stupid lazy is just going to chop them up and burn them. Good thinking. Gave it a whole week. You put in no effort. And nothing worked out for you. Shocking. idiot. Anyway, so yeah, just lost $1,000 on that whole thing, and now it's like oh man, that would have been nice to have that $1,000 because that's what I'm about ready to spend on this. Instead of a chainsaw, I could have had a backup generator for that money I spent on the chainsaw. I mean, I'm not going to take the chainsaw back. I can't. I used it already. It's already depreciated in how much money because it was brand new, and so it's just yet another perfect example of how capitalism is completely broken. I mean, it's just a fucking broken bull thing. I cannot stand it. And communism and socialism's not an answer, okay? Resource-based economy is the answer. So I have now pumped water, changed the oil. The next project is back to the backy the hoe. Backy the hoe needs to be greased again. Yeah, it'll be nice to have this water thing set up if I make it through the night, because that water thing will save me a whole lot of farting around every day. And the other thing I'm doing immediately is ordering a giant propane tank. At this point, I am ready to start. I came here to grease. Being an owner of carpal tunnel syndrome in both hands, I'm going to say that this battery-operated grease gun is super amazing. This thing is just saving my hands a whole entire nightmare. I am cleaning up the grease after this pump. I'm not gonna run this thing until I've cleaned it up. All this grease. In the past, I've done this a couple other times, and I just left the grease, and well, I think it's making my life more greasy and dirty. Alright. That's it. I'm starving. I'm literally been hungry for like 2 hours or so.